Way back in April of 2021, before I discovered the importance of good lighting, I reviewed the Vanbanner Lea prototype. A couple of weeks ago, I received the final production model for review. Yes, that is 1.5 years between prototype and production model. So, what happened? And is the Lea worth the wait? Today I have for you 3 reasons to buy the Lea, and 1 reason not to. It is no secret that Seiko's NH35 movement was, for a long time and perhaps still is, the darling of the affordable watch market. Over the last few years, hundreds of new watch brands have sprung up, seemingly overnight, and their de facto standard movement choice is the NH35 and 36 automatic, with hacking, hand winding, and Seiko reliability. This demand, alongside COVID slowdowns, meant a shortage of NH movements in 2021 and 2022. You may have noticed a lot of brands switching to the arguably superior Miyota 9000 series lately as a response. Now, small brands like Vanbanner were especially vulnerable to the shortage as suppliers gave preference to larger clients, and thus it is some 18 months later that I'm finally getting some wrist time with the production Lea. Was it worth the wait? I think so. Let me give you 3 reasons why. The first is value. At less than $220 US, the Vanbanner Lea provides a lot for your money. It boasts an AR-coated sapphire crystal, Swiss Superluminova, 2 strap options, 300 meters of water resistance, and the aforementioned NH35 automatic movement. And it also looks pretty darn cool. It has this unique tumbled PVD coating that is a real standout among the same old watches you see produced every day. It has a 120-click unidirectional bezel that is nice and clicky, with quite a bit of backspring to it. It's got drilled lugs for easy strap changes and a lume-filled crown. This has to be the single best crown I have ever operated on a watch. And I'm serious, it is robust and precise. Speaking of lume, I just have to show this to you right off the top. It has lume for days. But of course, this is nothing new for Vanbanner. The applied markers and the sandwich style with an inner pebbled texture and sunburst outer layer are extremely well done at only $220. The painting and the printing are crisp and the hands are beautifully done in white and blue. Now, can you get these specs for less money on AliExpress from a straight from the factory brand? Yeah, of course you can. But what you won't be getting is my second reason to buy the Lea, and that is originality. To be clear, not everyone wants a unique watch. Otherwise, Rolex, Submariner, Clomages wouldn't sell by the thousands on AliExpress. But after a while, many watch collectors get bored of the homage lifestyle and they crave something different. This is that. Vanbanner calls this a military-style field diver. And I think that moniker is spot on. Equal parts diver and field watch, the Lea, which means grassland or meadow, by the way, is a rugged-looking tool watch. It is highly legible and has a timing bezel like a diver. But the large sandwich-style numerals and the railroad chapter ring also communicates field watch aesthetics. At 45 millimeters across, it is large like a diver, but somehow, in spite of being 14 millimeters thick, it wears rather slim like a field watch. The turn-down lugs and the beveled sapphire crystal may have something to do with this magic trick. But this watch has one more trick up its sleeve, and that is its ability to be, for many, the ultimate beater. As someone who spends a lot of time, way more time than I should, taking macro shots for YouTube and Instagram, I tend to baby my watches. Every scratch, no matter how minuscule, is as subtle as the Grand Canyon under the right lighting. And so I don't really have a beater watch that isn't made by G-Shock. I even baby my Seiko SKX007 to some degree, believe it or not. But the textured case on the Lea is the remedy for the anally challenged macro shot influencer, because every scratch only enhances the appeal of the bezel and case. What Vanbanner has done here has been seen before, but not very often. They have applied a dark gray PVD coating and then tumbled it until 360 stainless steel begins to show through on the edges. The result is not only aesthetically pleasing, but also a recipe for the ultimate beater watch, because the more you knock it around, the better it looks. Add to that the lume and functionality as a field diver, and you can make a strong case that this is the ultimate beater watch at $220. But of course, no watch is perfect for everybody. You may not appreciate the style or the tumbled case. You may not love all the branding, and Vanbanner loves branding almost as much as Vanbanner loves lume. You may not love the mesh of a bracelet. All of that is subjective. But objectively, there is one reason not to buy the Lea, and that is your wrist size. If you can't pull off 52.5 millimeters lug to lug, then it is best to take a pass on the Lea, no matter how cool it is. Dinner plates went out of fashion a couple years ago, and nobody on the subway needs to be snagged by an overhanging lug on a packed train. All kidding aside, if you like huge watches, you have 6-inch wrists, then have at it. I don't care. I honestly don't. You do you. But the majority of you are going to want to be aware of its size. That being said, it isn't much longer than my 42mm Hamilton khaki, or wider than a Seiko Tuna. And the dark case sort of helps make it wear smaller than you would think. So do bear that in mind. Objectively, it is a big watch, but subjectively, it kind of plays with the laws of physics just a little bit. So, was the Vanbanner Lea worth the wait? I think it was. Absolutely. But the real question is, what do you think? Let me know in the comments down below. And as always, thanks to Vanbanner for gifting this into the channel, and thanks to all of you for watching. Have a great day.